Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Manhood Mindset on WVGS 91.9. The Buzz.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all so much for tuning back in. Manhood Mindset, Zeta Delta Delta Chop Double Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. We're located in Statesboro, GA. We thank you so much for tuning back in, supporting the show. We're almost at the end of our entire year, but we've had an amazing year, man. We really appreciate all the love and support and the feedback that you all have given us, and we just appreciate just being able to come back and just share some pertinent information with you all and have some fun and get some help in the whole process, man. So you ready to roll, big dog?
I'm always ready to roll.
All righty, man. So ladies and
I just got out of the buffet.
okay, all righty. I have not eaten all day, and that just really turned. It just got dim. You just made me. Yeah, man. I skipped lunch, and I'll never do it again. But no, I'm struggling right about that. Yeah, I don't know. It's too late now. I just got to wing it. I used the wrong word. But ladies and gentlemen, we have a special show for you all today. For the last 10 to 12 months, we have been leading you inside of the minds of African-American men and men across the world. This is the attempt of Zeta Delta Delta supporting the national mandate of Brother You On My Mind campaign. All right. And so what we do is talk about the mental health and things that affect the mindsets of African-American men, black men, or men of color, whatever label that you are comfortable with or self-identify with. It is for you. All right. But today we have a special show because we finally, not finally, but we also have a woman of excellence, I would say. Yes. All right, that's what she brings to the table to help our society. She's an author. She's a public speaker. She is a life coach. She's a mom. She's a wife. She's an all-around good person. I know her personally. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the amazing Patricia Shaw to Manhood Mindset. How are you doing, Ms. Shaw?
I'm doing well, Christopher and Dale. Thank you all for having me on this Manhood Mindset, and I'm looking forward to what we are going to share and dialogue about.
Exactly. We don't want to just overlook, because this is Manhood Mindset, and this is the Bruh Show, and we have a bruh in the house.
Yeah.
Okay. Michael Shaw is in the house. Pastor Michael Shaw is in the house.
Well, appreciate your team, and just glad to be here.
That's what's up. Thank you so much. He said he's gonna keep it short and sweet. I just want to be here, not on here. That's that's what's up. But showing support. So now, I guess what we want to do is just want to make sure that we just check in and connect with our audience, let them know who we are, and just we don't assume that everybody's been listening this whole time. This may be someone's first time listening to the show, so we kind of check in, let them know who we are, how we are, and then we're gonna get right into what we came here to talk about. We're gonna be talking about the mindsets of men and women today, ladies and gentlemen. All right, this is not necessarily a battle of the sexes. It's basically the building of the sexes. What we're gonna try to do is talk about really good information, and hopefully we helping people by the dialogue. We're not necessarily here to agree, but we have agreed to help the people that are listening. All right. So, Big Dog, do you mind checking in with the people, telling them what you got going on? Yeah, that's okay. That's feedback from my Facebook Live. Don't worry about that. I'm gonna try to mute that, because I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm like, FBI. I knew it was gonna happen. Go ahead, dog. I know, right? What's going on? What's going on with you?
Well, I have written, before it's over with, I'm going to have 30 pages written by Monday.
30 pages?
30 pages.
Oh, man. Enjoy.
Written by Monday with all of my projects and what you have it.
Okay.
I'm a senior, graduating this coming graduation.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
To turn up, and it's God's favor that really put me in the position to do so.
Okay.
My son is coming down for my graduation.
That's good stuff.
Praise God.
Congratulations.
I've been really missing him.
Cool.
So stuff is it'll get better. It's just getting better. A lot of prayer going on, and a lot of celebration going on, and a lot of stress.
Yeah.
Because I cannot fail anything.
Yeah.
I mean, anything. You know how everybody's just like, Oh, well, you know, I guess I'll get a C, man. I'm graduating, so it don't matter.
Right.
I'm sitting here like, Lord, look here.
Forget what you
As
seen.
long as it don't look like a retarded fork, put it on the report card. Retarded fork is the F.
The fork. Oh, okay. Okay. I thought you said number 4.
No.
Could be.
I'm just like, please, anything but an F and a D.
Right.
Anything.
Right.
It's half a fork, half a plate.
I could dig it, man. So let me ask you this, man. While you walking on campus, man, what's the vibe you've been seeing from people, man? Because I ain't gonna lie to you, I've seen a lot of people handling this last month pretty well, but I've seen a lot of people suffering as well. There's a lot of people who are down. There's a lot of people look like they are about to just not go to class. It's a lot of stuff just happening at the same time, and there's a lot of people who are mentally kind of giving up. I've seen it and I've heard it. So what have you seen?
Well, I totally agree. What a lot of people don't understand is the way our society works. A lot of people define themselves by their success here, because they allow other people to define them by their success here.
Okay.
So passing a class means it has nothing to do with learning. It's, do I possess that key in order to get through the gate somewhere else, to have opportunities? And it's just, we pay thousands of dollars for a piece of paper that no one asked for. I noticed, she was like, I was talking to my mom, she says, I'm a college graduate and they've never asked me to bring my diploma to an interview. They kind of just trusted me. And I was like, wow, we paid thousands of dollars to not show it to anyone else.
Yeah.
That's strange.
That's deep.
And just watching people, it's like functioning panic.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
It makes perfect sense. I've seen it.
Like, it's like they're like, okay, I'm still going to class. Okay, I'm failing. Don't know what I'm going to do. Don't know what I'm going to do. I cried to the teacher. I called my mom.
Yeah.
She said, how you doing? I said, I'm doing good. I lied so hard.
Yeah.
But
Oh, this is the month of lies.
Yeah,
This is the month of lies.
I'm doing good because I'm actually going to class.
Right.
I've been going to class all the semester, but I can't understand what's going on. That's the most frustrating thing in the world that I've noticed a lot of my colleagues are going through.
Okay.
Good students with good student conduct as far as studying and attending classes seem like they can't pass, like it's designed for them to fail.
Right. Wow.
That's what, and you can see that.
Right.
Like we have papers and stuff that it's just like, okay, I understand that this institution is supposed to promote rigor, but y'all have to know, if all of you all are in the same department, that every single one of y'all are assigned a 15 page.
That is true.
Do within a week.
Yep.
You cannot tell me you're completely oblivious to that.
Right.
It's designed to trip us up.
And I think some of them are trained to say, well, if you knew at the beginning of the semester you had all these papers, why did you start now? That's I've seen all of that, right? And the truth of the matter is, every class has something due every week.
Exactly. Or this is what they'll do. Okay, well, yes, you have a 15-page paper. We're going to get through this. We're going to talk about how to do the paper and how to approach your paper later on in the semester.
That's real.
A month left in the semester.
Right.
So this is how you do your paper. This is what I'm looking for. We needed to know that all semester. Why are you telling us that now?
Right now.
Well, it's in the syllabus. Well, I didn't understand that, and I was trying to talk to you, and you told me, don't worry about it. We're going to get through
this.
And now I feel all by myself.
Don't worry about it. We're going to get through this. That means you can get a grade his paper. You get, if he does a paper, you get to give him a grade?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Meaning, what they mean by is we're going to get through this is you may or may not pass, but I'm going to be okay. Retain my job.
Yes, that's that's hilarious. That is hurtful. But that is the truth. I've seen. I'm going through similar things as well. Just balancing life in general. Just personal, academic, professional, everything. It just it's almost that balancing act that everybody's doing. But right now, a lot of people have things on their plate. And not only that, what I've noticed too is, when everybody struggles at the same time, and it's not necessarily people having a deficit, some people are actually having a good time in their life, but it's still a lot going on. They're in good moods, but it's still heavy, And not only that, a lot of people don't understand how sometimes you got people who are not experiencing any turmoil currently in their life, but people around them are going through pretty much hell, and they are dumping on the person who actually has the energy.
True.
And that way, that energy gets zapped.
Yeah.
You know, and so I actually see that going around. Like I was confiding in a good friend of mine not too long. It was a lot of stuff I was going through, and he was actually having a good day. And I was just going off. I just unloaded all of the baggage that I had on that day. And he was like, man, I'm so sorry that happened, man. I really had a good morning this morning. I like, and my bad, bro. I ain't even asked. You know, because sometimes you got to protect your good days. You know, people that love you will steal them from you, not maliciously.
So that's true.
You know, sometimes we'll just call and just start telling you stuff. And he was just like, well, I had a good morning, man, but, you know, I need to take a nap now because you just told me a whole bunch of stuff. And so I, you know, and I told him, I was like, look, I'm sorry, but I really needed you to listen to me at the moment. So I think right now we got to pay attention to the people that's hurting, and we have to respect the people that's literally experiencing a good break from hardship right now. And sometimes we got to respect their break. If they've been going through it and then they're coasting, I think I'm gonna have to pay attention to the people that's coasting. Just because I'm going through it doesn't mean I have to. How's your day going, man? I've been through a lot, but I'm doing good now. I'm like, enjoy your Tuesday. I'm gonna find somebody else. You know what I mean? So I think I'm gonna make a better shot at doing that, because I did kind of bring my friend's day down the other day, and I noticed it. But he didn't think I was going at him like that. But yeah, I noticed that from a lot of us. So hopefully we'll all get through it, and we understand where our source coming from. Yep.
Well, I gotta ask you, since you brought it up, how do you gauge that? Are you looking for, hey, I'm having one of those days. It's not good. It's not bad.
Right.
And you'd be like, okay, so I can tell you how I'm angry. And I'm not even trying to be funny, because it's like, you don't want to bring someone down who's having a good day.
Right.
But you don't want to add to the stress of someone who's already having a bad day. So how do you gauge that from?
Sometimes I just ask a direct question. I said, when somebody asks me how I'm doing, and I saw one of my professors the other day, and she was like, how you doing? And she just shook her head, and I was like, you know what? I know the truth. You don't have to say it's going okay.
Right.
I said, I just respect your facial expression. That's what I did. I said, I respect the facial expression. You don't even have to conjure up the words of blessed and highly favored, or you don't have to say, I'm doing well. How are you? You know what I'm saying? You don't have to lie to me. I said, I just saw it in your eyes. I hope it get better. And she said, thank you.
Okay.
I mean, so that's what I would do. Like, honestly, too, sometimes when somebody asks me how I'm doing, I say, do you really want to know, or is it one of those things you just hope I'm doing okay? And then some of them, like, if they can't hear anything negative at that moment, because you'd be surprised when people who are going through so much pain are still polite.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People making the best of that pain, they're really polite, and they'll still open the door for you to bring some more pain. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So what I would do is, that's what I would do. Since it's the month of April, and April is an intense month. I've been seeing that in academia for years. April is a pressure-filled month for a lot of people. Family-wise and academic-wise, it's a lot of life choices that happen in April, and a lot of pressure for a lot of people in April. Business-wise, professionally, academically, personally, all across the board. A lot of people making decisions in this month about what they're going to do for the rest of their lives, and a lot of different things, right? Right. And so you can see that pressure in their eyes, even if they're trying to smile at it. I actually notice now when people smile, and sometimes their lips quiver when they're smiling. Yeah. And it's like they're still trying not to cry a little bit, but they're still keeping that face on for other people. And I notice now that, good-hearted people compensate a lot for a lot of people. I've noticed that. I've done it. You know what I mean? But so now if I see a person and I say, how you doing? And they say, I'm doing well, but I know that facial expression, they kind of dip down a little bit. I'll just say, you know what? I hope whatever it is, I just hope you have the best day possible. I don't say it'll be all right, because I have no idea what it is. But I will ask that person, are you in the mood to really hear some heavy stuff? Yeah. I'll at least verbalize that before I start going in and telling people. Because I've recently had some tragic events like back to back, and so now it got to the point. She was like, "How you doing?" I said, "Actually, I don't have enough energy to tell you." Right. And she was like, "Wow." I said, "It's not a pity thing. It's just like one of those things. Like, I'm tired of repeating it. I really don't want to relive it." Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I said, "Well, I'm here, and I'm thankful that I'm here, and I hope things get better for me." And she was like, "Okay, well, thank you." And it turns out she was going through something worse. Right. And so I would have added and would not have known it, and it wouldn't have been malicious, but it would have been real. Yes. So yes, Miss Patricia, Miss Patricia Shaw. The people have heard us quite extensively. We would like to know who you are and what you do and what kind of person are you. What can we expect from interviewing you today?
All right. Well, Patricia Shaw, a certified professional life coach, wife of 28 years, mother of 2 children, grandmother, award-nominated best-selling author.
Get out of here.
And I love helping women. I help them move out of a place of pain into their promise. Okay. So what you can expect from me is truth. Okay. And just really wanting to inspire women and men to move forward out of the place of pain. And I heard you say, talking about when you were talking with someone, that their lip was almost quivering. Yeah. And as people, we've been trained to wear a mask. And definitely. That is something that I help women do, take off the mask that they have worn for years. Because there is so much pain going on in the lives of people today. And from early life, we have been trained to wear these masks. When you fall off of a bike at a young age, your mother, she says, okay, honey, she'll rub the little sore. If you've fallen down and gotten hurt, she'll put something on the sore and then tell you, oh, okay, now go on, get back on that bike. But I'm not ready to get back on the bike right now. But to show my mother that I'm this strong, brave person, I put the mask on and I get back on the bike. That's true. It's the same thing that's going on in a lot of the lives of a lot of people today. They are wearing these masks to try to hide the hurt.
Wow. So now, I mean, first of all, thank you for saying that. And you mentioned just the mask that everybody puts on. What is the purpose? And you already touched on this, but elaborate on, why does the mask exist in the first place for all of us? Why does it exist? And when did we find out that we had to put it on? And I know you talked about earlier when, it depends on a child and, their upbringing or their environment, when they knew that the mask probably protects them. Kind of like if you're playing hockey or football, right? If you play without it, you're going to realize some teeth are missing. Yes. Right? So I would say just the development of that mask anyway, where does that safety come from? Why is it like that? What is your opinion?
I would say the safety of the mask comes from our parents, their parents. It's something that has been passed down through generation. And if you think about it, it even goes so far back as to slavery, because the mask.
You had to act like you was happy every day, right?
Right. Yes. You had to act like you were happy. And I'll even say my mother had an incident. She grew up in the South, and she never forgot about this story. And it was so hurting to her that even as an adult, she told me that she was babysitting this little white girl, and the parents called the home and asked the little girl. Now, she was standing right there in the kitchen, and the little girl said, "The nigger's here." So my mother wore that mask of pain for years. And it's so many people that we try to hide and cover up things instead of getting them out. And when we hold on to things, that is what really starts the hurt. And it keeps embedding. So one thing on top of the other. It's time for these masks to come off.
Wow. Okay, you said a lot then. So I would say earlier you said you help women, right?
Yes.
And to deal with pain. And we talk about the mindset of men a lot, right? And I know we've had several conversations before about the dynamics between men and women.
Yes.
And our mindsets towards each other. Can you talk about the pain? And this is not, just in case of people wondering, like, when they're going to get to it. No, we're not. Like, we're trying to learn some stuff, right? But it can get entertaining for you. But our intentions are to really try to get people some help. So the pain that is attributed to the male counterpart, what is your take on that? How much of the pain is directly connected to men that you've seen?
Well, because I do help women and in their relationships, I'm not going to say that it is directly contributed to a man, but it starts from something in the childhood, and the women, some of them are going in and out of relationships, and instead of getting healed from a hurt that happened as a teenager, they are leaving that relationship, getting in another relationship, thinking that being connected with this man is going to help them to heal. But we have to be whole before we go into a relationship. So I can't, and I even have to get my clients to see that you cannot blame another person for your happiness. You can't give them that much power.
That's true.
It's your power. What are you going to do with it? So I can't blame my husband if I wake up Tuesday and I'm upset. Why am I upset? I have to get to the root of the issue. It's not his fault. Something I did caused me to be upset.
I'm gonna be real with you. As a man, okay, you need to clone yourself and run around the earth and help. Because I mean, respectfully speaking, of course I'm joking, I'm not at the same time, because men get blamed for a lot of things, of course, and women get blamed for a lot of things. I think a lot of people who don't want to really tackle their problems, they dance in the blame game. You know what I mean? So one thing I got from what you just said is just, what am I doing?
Yes.
I think that question right there, I think if all people, including myself and everybody that's listening, if you can just wake up, especially when we get upset, and ask ourselves, what am I doing? Instead of, I'm mad.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And, we've all done it. Like, you get upset, and what a lot of people don't understand is usually when people are mad, they work out frustrations on the people that's closest to them. And I think that that right there is not necessarily documented, but it's not admitted enough. I think when people are mad, they swing in the dark, and you hit people that's trying to hug you.
True.
And the people that actually love you. Yes. And also too, and one thing that you really it just stuck out to me is that some people solve relationships with a relationship.
Oh yeah.
And and I want you to elaborate on that, because I really want to get down to the deepest cause of why that is, right? So now it's almost like if they're leaving a relationship for another relationship, but there's still a problem in it.
Yes.
And there's problems all over the place. And now we got people 25, 30, 35, 40, 45 saying the same stuff.
Yes.
That's wrong. There's something wrong with everybody else. What is the root cause?
And that is so true what you just shared. Most of the women that I work with are 35 to 52.
Okay.
Those are the ones who hire me. They've gotten to this place in life where they realize, you know what, I need some help.
Right.
I would say that, and this is the perfect example. I had a woman to reach out to me one day, and she said that in the years, I've been married 10 years, and she said, this was the first time my husband ever called me out of my name. And I took a screwdriver to reach out to stab him.
Oh, wow. This is amazing.
Yes.
Okay.
And so I'm listening to this conversation, and I'm like, okay, so what happened? I wanted to express myself, and he wouldn't give me the opportunity. So I said, you're holding that much rage, anger, till he wouldn't allow you to express yourself, and so now you want to harm him. And she was like, yes, I need some help. I have a problem. I said,
That's
yes,
deep.
you do have a problem. Right.
How many, so you literally work with people who admit. Now, it's one thing, now I want to ask you this too. People can hire you without admitting there's something wrong with them.
Yes.
How is that? Because you just mentioned to someone saying, hey, I need your help because it is something wrong with me. I bet, this is my guess, it's probably much smoother working with those individuals. I'm just taking no pun. I'm taking a stab at it.
But
all right, that was messed up.
The thing about it is, and that's what I tell them. You're going to pay all this money to work with me. You need to be honest, not with me, but with yourself.
Right.
And believe it or not, I have discernment. I can tell when you're not being honest.
Okay.
So I'm going to hold you accountable and let you know.
Right.
But getting back to this woman and her story with all this anger. So I said, and I was able to help her identify this in like a 35-minute conversation. I said, now, this did not just happen today with him not allowing you to express yourself. And she's like, no, it has built up over time because I made a promise to myself. This is my second marriage. I made a promise to myself that I'd never be in the position where I have to depend on a man.
And he didn't know about that promise. And where was he at when the promise was made? He was probably out there at Buffalo Wild Wings ordering more blue cheese, having a good time.
Yes.
And she out there making promises with him in it.
But that was because of something that happened in her first marriage.
Slapping blue cheese out his hand. Baby, what is wrong? I done made a promise. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Exactly. And so
blue cheese is
getting her
important.
to see, I said, now we need to go back because you have too much anger in you and rage for a little him telling you, and this is what she told me.
He was a small in stature person? Okay.
No, I've never seen him, but this is what she said. She said that he said, let's not talk about it right now because I don't want it to go to escalate.
Yeah.
Now he already knew what she wanted to say was probably going to go the wrong way.
Right.
He asked her to wait, hold it for another time.
Right.
But she
can't do it.
Right.
This screwdriver feels too right. I need to build.
Right, yes.
Let's take a stab at this.
And so what it boiled down to, the root cause was there was something that happened to her early in life at the age of 17 or 18, something like that. She ended up getting left at the altar. And so that was the first hurt. So the first mass came on.
Okay.
Now,
hold on, there's multiple masks.
Yes.
You got to be hot. And that's why people be sweating.
There are multiple
You be like, hold on, why are you so hot? You be like, I'm
yes.
hot. They fanning themselves. You like, this the mask. Trust me, dog, the mask. She ain't took them off yet.
Right,
go ahead.
those masks. And so she goes on. A few years later, she meets a man and she marries this man.
Without telling them what happened.
Without healing herself.
Yeah.
And so she brought in the baggage from what happened the first time.
Clear bags. You can't
Clear
even tell they
bags,
there.
right.
They be like, wow, there's a clear bag.
Into this marriage, that marriage didn't work out.
Right.
And so here she is again.
Uh-oh.
So all these masks of unhurt, and you are going in one relationship after the next, and it bottles up somewhere, and it turns into anger, into bitterness, into rage.
Wow. Okay. All righty. Well, that's a lot of people who may be dealing with that type of stuff.
Oh, yes.
And we talk about self-accountability is a way to freedom, some type of freedom, financial freedom, emotional freedom, religious freedom, tell it, you know what I mean? Spiritual freedom, all of it.
Yeah.
But people admitting that they have a problem, is that rare in your opinion?
It's rare. It's rare.
So is it pride that's kicking us?
I think it is. It's and I hate to keep going back to the mask, but it's how society wants me to be one way. But then when I get home, I get to be myself. Sometimes I'm not myself enough, though. But when I get back in society, I really want to take off this mask, but I'm trying to live up to what people want me to be. Right.
I think where we live on this planet, we talk about living in the world but not being of it quite often. Yes. And I think living in the world and not of it, I think we do have this dance that we do on a daily basis. And we talk about the word professionalism a lot. That's not professional. And, in many cases, professional means don't be yourself. You know what I mean? Yeah. And honestly, too, I think one thing I realized about masks are directly tied to survival. Yeah. Masks are tied to safety. masks are tied to financial security. And sometimes masks are tied to sanity, which is, and we talk about a lot of, mental health issues that, plague us, right?
Yes.
And I think too, sometimes when you have on a mask, it's hard to look at certain things, especially in your peripheral. You know what I mean? Masks make you look at something straight, and you can't even pay attention to what's around you because you have on that mask.
Yes.
I just think about having on a face mask when I'm playing football. It's hard to look left and right. You can only focus on the certain things.
Right.
And I think sometimes that mask protect you from having to recognize and point out certain things that could really ruin your whole life if you pay attention to it. Because they say that ignorance is bliss for some people, and I think some people take it that serious. I don't have the energy or the mentality to take on this heavy life, knowing what's going on out here. I just love to pretend like I don't see it. And that's a mask too, because I'm pretty sure that you've seen. I know you probably worked with some people that that they can't be this oblivious. I think they have to pretend that they're this oblivious to themselves because they really can't take that something is wrong with them, and then they're hurting people.
Right.
So that's the reason why it's better to say they're hurting me. It's a man hurting me, or a man saying it's a woman hurting me, or everybody's out to get me. It's everybody else's fault. I'm always getting picked on at this, that, and other. And when you ask them, have you done anything? And they say, nope. They put that mask right back on. I haven't done absolutely nothing. I'm just perfect. You know what I mean? And my grandma still say now, all perfect people are liars. You know what I mean? So that, it's deep. Big Mama will snap on you. You know what I mean? Especially when you keep going back for seconds and she told you not to. But let's move on. But honestly, that admitting of, or I guess that pride, we have, in my opinion, I've seen painful pride. The pride that is produced by you can't take it no more. Okay. And so now the only weapon we have left is to be proud of the state that we're in mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, without necessarily trying to fix it.
Yes.
If you can't fix it, the last weapon left is to be proud. And you know what I mean? And so now, that's the reason why we kind of like to talk about our issues, because sometimes the things that we're prideful of, we start taking ownership of the stuff that's not us. We were given that mask, and we can't take it off, or it's too painful to take it off. Then we turn it into pride, and now we're prideful of killing ourselves. Right. And we see that in our community a lot between men and women. Yes, it's getting to the point now where we can't really point the finger at each other no more. It's gotten so bad now that we have no choice but to be like, it's me. Give me about 20 days. Let me just go seclude myself real quick. Yes. I know all of us kind of messed up a little bit, but at least I will not go out there in the world and just start pointing fingers. Right. I know I'm affected too. You know what I mean? So to the person right now who can't find the energy or the courage to say it's them, how do you help them get through it?
Now, to the person that can't find the energy or the strength to really admit that it was them, I got to testify my story. Okay. When me and my husband got married, everything was great. Then come those year 3 or 4, and he started. Well, he had been doing it, but I never really noticed it. Throwing the clothes on the seat, on the edge of the bed.
That's mandatory. Good job, dog.
No, it's not. And because I'm such a neat person, it was driving me up the wall. And I would ask him, would you please put your stuff up?
It's nothing like draping your shirt over a chair. It's nothing like it. Drape your pants over the chair. It's almost like an invisible. I'm going to tell you a secret of men. For some strange reason, when we take our clothes off, when we get at the end of the day, we put our clothes in the chair like somebody sitting there. Exactly. I'm sorry, we can't explain it. Okay. That's what we do. Y'all gonna have to accept it after that. Go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead.
And so, because it really affected me, but then I realized that it was the enemy trying to destroy our marriage. But what happened was, I used to say it's him. It was him.
He throwing the clothes. He the one throwing the pants all over the place. It got to be him.
Exactly. And so,
why? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
One night, I went to bed. God has always spoken to me through dreams and through songs and things that I was familiar with. And so I loved Michael Jackson. And one night I went to sleep and I had this dream. And the song came to me, take a look at the man in the mirror. Michael Jackson song.
I remember that song.
The man in the mirror. Me too.
Yeah.
Take a look and make a change.
I used to shave to that all the time. I'm like, you right, Mike. I got one more mustache. Go ahead.
And so I went to my pastor's wife and I shared the dream with her, and then she said, yeah, God is speaking to you and he uses things that you're familiar with to speak to. And I was like, I don't believe that, because he the one. He the problem. He the problem.
It's them pants.
So then I went to my pastor and he said the same exact thing that his wife said.
Okay.
And I believed it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so then from that day on, I said, Lord, help me. And so when he started helping me and working on me, I stopped seeing those pants and those shirts.
That's deep.
And yeah, I did.
And you experienced more peace and nirvana.
Yes. but guess what? I did too.
Yes.
I experienced more peace too, because those little trivial things that I was so frustrated over were no longer affecting me.
Right.
So we do have to reach down in ourselves at some place in life and say, it's me.
Right.
It's not the other person.
Right.
But it's so many people. And I want to say, I understand this is the manhood mindset, but it's so many women who feel like they have been labeled. I'm a strong woman.
Man, please elaborate on strong.
I'm a strong woman.
Man.
But what you're really saying is, I don't need any help.
There you go.
But you do need help.
Yes, you
I
do.
was telling somebody just this week, I don't like taking out the garbage. So I like for my husband to take the garbage out. It's those little simple things. I don't ever let people tell me I'm a strong woman. I'm not.
Can I say something that probably is irking the dude that's in his car radio, just listen to his car radio right now, holding the steering wheel with a cough? If you don't need me, why are you telling me what I should be doing for you?
Right.
That's confusing to a lot of dudes.
That's true.
I don't need a man. I'm independent. Why didn't you open that door for me, you jerk? And so dudes is like, I thought you was independent. I'm independent until the door appears.
Right.
And now you got dudes trying to do this dance like between respecting women and disrespecting women. And guess what? The confusing things about our society now is the respect is disrespectful.
Okay.
That's confusing to a lot of dudes. Now, if you would say, excuse me, miss, we need to, like, it's a lot of dudes who be like, don't talk to me like that. You don't know me. So dudes now is like, okay, where does the independence start and when does it take a sharp curve?
Wow.
Like, because now it's getting to the point, like especially young guys are just like, look, man, we just say, excuse me, miss, or hello, or this, that, and the other. We don't get anything back, right? Or even if we try to do something for someone, it's you don't know me, or it's about equality,
right?
And so the word is even confusing to people who are trying to relate to each other.
Yes,
you know what I mean. So dudes don't know what that individual woman defines as equality or respect.
Yes.
Or independence. Or independence. What part of it frustrates you? They can't hear you. I can't hear you right there.
You can't hear me?
Use that one.
Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. My mic is it don't like me right now. I guess it was because I've been yelling in it, all year. But what frustrates me about the word equality, when you look them up in the dictionary, when you're equal to something, let's just do it from a mathematical standpoint. If you're equal to something, that means you hold the same value. When you're chivalrous to someone or something, you temporarily place them at a higher value or a higher what's the word I'm looking for? A priority. So with that being said, it can be said that, and this is my personal belief, but by definition, equality kills chivalry. And by me talking to a lot of men and in my generation and older men, what frustrates us, and I even talked to my mother about this, and she admitted it. She says, Dale, I'm going to be honest with you because you're my son. Us women, we fight for equality up until the point where it stops benefiting us.
Ooh, that is true.
Yeah.
That is true. I've seen it.
And I said, well, that's not fair because you can't have your cake and eat it too. And I always get yelled out by making this, because it's like, okay, well, men and women, a lot of us on both sides don't realize that it's a balance. Because when we look at each other, we look at the benefits that each other has.
Right.
But in this world, period, no matter what you believe in, there's a balance for your reward. People be like, oh, well, men get this, they get the jobs, they get money, they get stature, they get status. But at the same time, what happens when somebody in the family that he's the head of goes without? It could be the woman's in the house mistake. She could have mismanaged the money. Yeah. But you know what they say? Well, what's your man doing? They'll be like, oh, well, the man, he gets all the money. But at the same time, we're expected to not only court the woman, take care of the woman, provide her money, and then because how we're trained socially, she get to do what she wants to do with her. She's not obligated. My money as a man is our money. Your money as a woman is your money.
Surely is.
No, but you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's not equal.
That's hilarious.
But I'm just saying that's not equal. So yeah, that's basically what it is.
It's romantic slavery.
And then it's like, as men, we get frustrated because we have these conversations here and there. We as men get frustrated because there is a clearly defined standard throughout society and different ethnic backgrounds of how we must treat a woman. But when we ask a woman, like, okay, so how do you treat a man that treats you that way? And then you get silence.
I ain't fixing no plates.
And it's frustrating because
I don't have that issue.
I mean, see, that's why he chilling. He chilling. He just over there like, bro, I don't even,
That's why he doing security at all times. I don't want to talk, I gotta pay attention.
He just like, hey, he over there sitting like, hey, we gotta go home tonight, bro.
Yes. Yeah.
Get home. Miss Shaw be like, so about some of the things that Dale was saying. I noticed you didn't say anything.
Yes.
But we've been married so long, and when he said that one statement, your demeanor changed.
And your eyebrow went up.
One eyelash fell slightly. And it shed, and it caught the air as it fell to the floor. And I knew at that point that you felt some type of way about that statement. Do you feel mistreated in our relationship? Because I do everything that I can. And you be like,
oh, wow.
Now that's wrong. We're not going to do women like that because all women aren't like that. But it's frustrating as men when we grow up in a society that tells us, and then it's like, I feel like our society molds us to be enemies of each other, to compete with each other, instead of,
especially us.
Instead of balancing each other out. Like, for example, we as black men now, I deal with this personally. Wow, I don't want no weak man. He coming to me telling me about his day, crying and going. If I can't be soft with you, and you supposed to be my peace, then where else am I gonna find peace? Yeah. Who else can I talk to when I'm leaving war and coming home to war? And I feel like I can't get no break. I gotta be strategic out there, and then I gotta come in here and be like, okay, you feel this way. You can't let her know you feeling this way because she's going to feel this way. Or you would like for this to be done, or you would like to be treated a certain way. And it's just like, it's frustrating as men because we're shown on so many different levels that our needs come second, if they ever come at all. Because at the beginning of a relationship in our generation, it is acceptable and okay for a woman to sit there and define every single thing she wants as a relation, and it is, if you can't do it, that's just it. That's just it. This is what I need from my man. If you can't do it or whatever, then if a man be like, okay, well, cool, I can do all that. I got you, but I need this. Forget everything sexual. It could just be other stuff. I need this. Yeah. What makes you feel that you have the right to those things? Well, what makes you feel that you have the right to those things that you demand for me to even interact with you in the first place? Now, see, I'm asking for these things after I promise to satisfy what you want and need. Why are my needs not as important? And then when you find out that men aren't interested in long-term relationships, are no longer interested in marriage, I'm not saying you, right, but you take the position away as head of the household. Men were really more about position and feeling good and feeling needed. So you make us feel like we're not needed. We have no worth. Our feelings don't matter. If we have them, we're weak. And then we don't deserve anything. And then you shame us for going out here and messing with promiscuous women who temporarily will let us feel how we're supposed to feel with you.
They are so nice, though.
And when I say that, I don't necessarily mean, because I've had encounters with women who would be considered promiscuous that weren't sexual. At one time, I was starving affectionately in a relationship, and I got out of that relationship, and I started talking to this young lady, and she had a reputation or whatever, but I never went to bed with her. We would just go, and honestly, I know everybody gonna be like, what? Especially because I'm the bros now. What? But I would just go over to her house and we cuddle. And we watch movies and stuff like that, and that was just our thing, because I felt so robbed of that in my previous relationship. But then,
and you didn't get healing. I
got some. I got some healing. I got some healing later on, because I'm much better. I actually went to counseling for it. But it's not that. Okay, now some men are strictly physical. I'm not gonna lie about that. Right. But just because we have a need to be physical, we're not shamed the way that we are shamed. The way we aren't women aren't shamed the way that we're shamed, because it's a different dialogue that comes. Now she's out there and she's outside of a relationship and she's being sexually free. She does get the short end of the stick. I will admit that. But inside of a relationship, if she go to any of her friends, male or female, and say, I'm not getting the frequency that I need in the relationship sexually, you know what they say? Well, girl, you need to find somebody else. You don't deserve that. Oh, he need to keep up. He need to keep up with the program. If he can't satisfy you, if he can't satisfy you, you need to get someone else, because don't nobody deserve to sit there and be sexually frustrated. If we leave or go, bro, you gonna give up on her like that, bro? Just try to teach her. And then if we talk to our female friends, well, maybe it's something that you did that makes her feel uncomfortable with giving you access to the thing. It's our fault. But when it's the other side, we could just be no good. Right. But on that side of the women, y'all just can't be selfish. There's no such thing as a selfish woman in that department, but it is selfish men. Like, and what I don't understand is the fact that those double standards is what's frustrating, because we're taught from the time, and I went off on a tangent a little bit, but we're taught from a time there's a clear defined standard of how we're supposed to treat a woman. Right. But there's not a clear, I just spoke on the topics that matter to us. As men, I'm gonna tell you, it's easy to satisfy us. Okay, I believe it. Sexually, okay, until we get a certain age, then it don't.
What age is that? 'Cause I ain't got that.
Okay, so that food.
There you go. Food, top of the chain. Those two.
That food. Don't give away number one to nobody else. So that loyalty. And don't fuss at us every day. Right. We really, like, I have to say that our needs get complicated. If you keep a man like that, and I don't mean to say keep a man like, oh, you women can't be, you know, a certain way towards men and vice versa, but it's just like in society it's frustrating seeing that it's just like when we ask for something or when we want stuff and we're fulfilling our duties as men, it's like it's such a problem and it's frustrating.
Okay.
So we're not, as men, we're not finding it beneficial in long-term relationships, and we're just feeling like now we're getting the short end of the stick. And I just said all that to say, like, how do you think we get that back on track? Because now we're at a state where women don't want to be vulnerable to men, right, because of their past experience, and now hurt women are hurting good men.
That's true.
And now it's a cycle of people who want to love each other, right, want to be vulnerable with each other, and believe it or not, there are some women who want to give their men everything, right, and there are some men who want to be like, baby, there go the credit card, just get it, because it feel good. I ain't gonna lie to you, it feel good going up in the nail salon and you with your girls, and then they be like, oh, what you doing here? Oh, baby, you know I got that, or whatever. And then your girls look at you like, ooh, okay, that make you feel good, and it make us feel good. Yes. So how do we get back to that state to where the needs of both genders are equally represented and equally treated that way? Because I could sit here and talk from my perspective, but I'm a male, I'm never going to see it from your side. Right. And for some reason, you all can see it from our side, but I feel like sometimes y'all pick and choose when to pay attention to it. Okay. So how do we get back in the equilibrium?
Now, you know, that is a fabulous question. And I'm going to start with this.
Sorry, I talked so long.
Last week, that's okay. I was listening. Last week, I read a book, and it said 23.6% of families in the United States are being run by single mothers, and that equated to 74 million homes. So think about it. All these women growing up without a father. So here you have this strong woman, this strong black woman teaching her daughter. And I like to tell women who reach out to me, your daughter is going to do everything you did and more. And so they are not just listening to what you say, they are watching what you do. So how you parading all these men through your home, that's what they're watching. And that, I'm not going to go spiritual, but these spirits are rubbing off. And so you really need a man in the household to bring the balance. We taught our son one thing, our daughter something else, but it's all respect. So I can't be in a relationship and expect all my needs to be met and then not meet his needs. Amen. Somewhere along the line, it's not going to work. Nope. I'm being selfish, he's being selfish. Right. And in order for the relationship to work, you have to come to an understanding and agreement. So before these relationships can get to the point where there is equilibrium, we have to start as women saying, it's important to have a man in the home. I don't care how many strong, intelligent women there are in America. You really do need a man in your home.
Well, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
You
need a husband, exactly.
And I have a question because I want you to expound on this because I feel like this is where you're going. So because we really do love our women. How do we get that trust back from our women that's been hurt, that's been forced to be strong? How do we get them to understand that we're not the enemy?
I think it has to be on an individual basis because I have a lot of women that I work with, and I would say 70% of these women that hire me come from homes without a father. So most of these women, they're in and out of these relationships looking for the love they didn't get from a father. And then there are the women who did. Now I had this client, a wonderful woman, and she had a father who downgraded her. And so she ended up looking for and marrying a man that treated her like her father. And the relationship, it ended in divorce. So we have to get back to letting women know from another woman, you really do need a man. I don't care. And I'm not talking about any man, a husband, not just somebody, to live with. Yeah.
Amen is very broad. It's very
yes,
broad.
It is.
Will you define a husband?
I wasn't going to say nothing, but I got to say something right here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say it from a biblical standpoint. It ain't my point of view.
Okay.
So God has so designed the world. And if you
Introduce yourself. So
I'm Pastor Michael Shaw. I've been married to Patricia Shaw for 28 years.
all right.
And so
And he's the
God
best.
There you go.
and a Q.
Yeah, there you go.
And
They do have hearts.
and so God, the way he created us. And so in the book of Corinthians it says that God is the head of Christ. Christ is the head of man. Man is head of woman.
Pitchfork's coming.
And so he has so designed us that we need each other
Yes.
to really function. And so what has happened in society, the men has been taken out of the household.
Yeah.
And so now it's too many women raising children that they don't have the character, the attributes to instill in the children, because that was not their role.
Right.
It is our role. It's our role to discipline. It's their role to love.
Yes.
And so if you ever notice, a lot of men really don't care if you say you love me.
Yeah.
They won't respect.
Yeah.
We as men won't respect. And so what has happened over the years, the men has become absent.
Yeah.
And because the men is absent, you have created all of these women who has become bitter and hurt. And so now they say, I don't need a man.
Yeah.
I'm independent.
You know what's? Can I say something right when you said that? I remember many people, and don't get me wrong, it's a difference between bragging and giving someone props.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I know, and I'm a product of a single parent household, but it wasn't like that my entire childhood. It was two parents until I was like 10, then single mother all the way up until, of course
Right,
now.
yes.
Right? But I know for a fact that a lot of people were saying, yeah, man, shout out to Mom Dukes for doing it on her own. All these strong women doing it on. And so now it became a badge.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Badge of honor.
And see, and I'm not dissing and downing women who had to do it.
Right.
It was, but I did notice a lot of women choose to do it like that. I witnessed it. And it wasn't like, oh no, it was somebody else doing it. Don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure the situation wasn't perfect, and I'm not blaming her. I've noticed people who tell their child's father, I can do this without
yes.
you.
Oh, yes.
But the guy is literally trying to do it with her.
Yes.
Exactly.
But it's the overcompensating of saying, I'm strong without you. I don't need you. And it was like, man, I'm hearing this over and over again. And it's like arguments that's out in the open. There's arguments in malls. There's arguments in restaurants. You know what I'm saying? Ruby Tuesday getting aggressive. Like,
Yes.
I said, that's why you don't argue in Applebee's, because it's 2 for $20. It makes you get it makes you get along, and those are not boneless wings. It's just expensive chicken nuggets. So moving on. But no, one thing I realized is that a single parent household can work, but you can't claim that it is balanced.
Right.
And that's what I
No.
got from what you're saying. You can't say that good people don't come out of single parent households.
Right.
That's not what I'm
That.
saying.
That's true.
Some of the best people have done wonderful things in their own lives, the lives of their families, that came out of single parent household, right?
But I bet if you go back and do your research, there were some men
Yeah.
that was a mentor to those children.
Now, and see, that's what I'm saying. They had balance.
Yes.
Now, they may not have had the balance from inside of the four walls of their home, but somehow they achieved that balance by being involved in sports,
Yes.
Being involved in church, any other type of organizations where you had grown men in the community that came and got their sons and got the young men in the community and taught them specific values. Because it got to the point now where my father wasn't physically in the home, but I had 7 uncles, I had coaches, band directors, I had older men in my neighborhood. It was just like, hey, I heard you were stupid today in class. What happened? Like, I'm like, hold on, how did you hear that? You know, and it's people checking. So yes, you can be in a single parent household and still have some type of balance. However, a lot of people don't understand that the balance has to become between that masculine and feminine energy. And I wanted to get y'all take on that, because it's not only that. I know we have our place on the planet, you know what I'm saying? Masculine and feminine, right? But I think a lot of people, and me included, because I got to read some more about just the energy behind it, the place of the home where the man and the woman is, because I don't know the whole dynamics of it, but I just know what I've been told and know what I've seen. But it's deep. I think all of us don't even know all of it.
No.
We just know what we feel, because we have, intelligence based off our experience on the planet so far. We know what we have seen.
Right.
But I want to get your take on the masculine and feminine energy principle. Like you mentioned earlier that, we give that respect, that discipline.
Yeah.
The emotional part, yes, we can use it and we need some of it. But when it get down to respect, the hard facts,
Yes.
that's that energy from, the masculine point of view. So if y'all don't mind, can y'all speak on that?
Definitely.
Yeah.
We have 4 children in the household, right? So, and he worked on the road quite a bit.
Okay.
So as far as the respect, when he came home on the weekend, all the boys, that was no problem.
Right.
But one in particular always tried to give me a run for my money. And so the respect, I think he felt, because I was, a woman, that he could do whatever, right? But then, he would have to face him, and he would think, he gonna forget by the time the weekend come, but he wouldn't forget, because he would say, "That's my wife.
Right.
When you gone, she's still gonna be my wife."
Right.
So the with the feminine power and the masculine power, we're equal.
Right.
And I like how my
Compliment.
husband said, yes, we complement one another, that Christ is the head of the man is the head of the wife, so forth. That's the order, godly order. Now, in today's society, it's a lot of women that struggle with that.
Yeah.
Ain't no man ahead of me. I don't have a problem.
Now, what a lot of men hear, and I don't speak for everyone, but a lot of men hear that it's demeaning now to say the man is the head of the household. It's seen as disrespectful now,
Say this.
And so, yeah, go ahead.
I think one of my big things, my father,
Okay.
when he got my mother when she was 16 years old, offered her job, told her boss to give her check because she won't be back.
Okay.
She never worked another day of her life.
That's deep.
My father, not that he was perfect, but he made sure that home
It was taken care of.
was taken care of. He made sure that my mother was taken care of. And so I had that as a role model.
Okay.
My wife, I have to use this in the correct manner.
Safety is the key.
You see how I cut my eyes.
Yeah,
right?
I seen it. You know what? I ain't gonna lie, I love that part. He was like, yes. And let me get permission real quick, because I'm still a man. But I got my permission slip. Baby, this cool? All right, let's continue.
So I go outside the household, I'll put it this way. I go outside the household and work.
Okay. All right.
She does not go outside the household and work.
Okay. Okay.
Although she works.
Okay.
But she doesn't have an office that she goes to.
Okay.
And so my whole mindset was, the whole 28 years we've been married is the Bible says that the man is supposed to provide, protect, and give provision, which means I'm supposed to make sure that roof over our head, food on the table, bills are paid, make sure that nobody comes in and harm her, and provision means direction.
Right.
And that's
Wisdom,
my responsibility.
yeah.
That's providence. That's my responsibility.
Okay.
And so that's what I try to do. Now, that's what was instilled in me. Now, I know we all have different. I always make reference to that if I was coming up in this generation, I would have a hard time dating because of my mindset.
Right.
Because the generation now does not think like I was taught.
Okay.
Women are very aggressive. That would be a turnoff to me.
Right.
Because I was taught to be the one who chased.
Right.
Chase the cat.
All right. Yes. All righty.
Nothing but the dog.
Hilarious.
Wow, that's how.
But no, my uncle, I ain't gonna lie to you, I got an uncle that's old school, and he was just like, man, what is going on with y'all these days? I'm like, what you talking about? He's like, back then, we could barely see the ankle. Right. He's like, you see the ankle, that was a Good Friday. And I was like, whoa, really? He said, man,
for the imagination.
he said, man, I don't even know what's going on. And I see a young lady, she said, hey, I'm like, I don't have no money. He said, I'm just scared. I don't know what it is. I just see it all. What's going on with y'all? Like, well, we ain't had no conference in the last 2 weeks, but next time we'll get on a huge conference, we'll text you what everybody's thinking. But no, he's saying he's witnessing all the changes you talking about.
Yeah, it's such a difference.
Yeah.
And these days, and I'm gonna say this, and I hate to say this, is so that you even scared to say hi to a young lady because all of the lawsuits for sexual harassment.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't want to put myself in that position.
Shout out to Bill O'Reilly.
Okay.
It's been a rough couple of years for bills.
Yeah.
Can you fire me and give me $25 million?
I know. That wasn't even no severance package. That was the plus package.
I missed that trade.
Oh, he was like, don't work anymore, and here you go to Beirut. Like, okay. Yeah, but no.
But it's just such a different mindset in this generation. And
Right.
that's both men and women. I was listening to Brother Dale and my wife. So some of this is our generation.
Mm-hmm.
I hope she'll mind me saying this.
Okay.
I take care of stuff at home. If I come home and say, baby, I need a bath, she run my bath water, put me in the bathtub,
Right.
wash me up.
Yeah. And I see the smile you fighting. I see you just fought that smile as much as you can, but smile hard, man. That was amazing.
But now let me understand, make y'all understand. We're married, so that's okay.
Yeah.
Because the Bible said the bed is undefilable, so we can play all day.
Yo, that's hilarious. All right.
And so, but my wife, I don't have any. If a man does what he's supposed to do,
Playtime.
a woman is designed to submit.
Okay.
That's her nature by God.
Okay.
But if you don't do what you're supposed to do,
And see, this is the thing. The word submit. The word submit. The word
not
submit
satisfied.
throws it off.
No, that's what frustrates me because see, look here. Let's take everything physical out of the equation, and the bath stuff,
just talking about-
and you know what I'm saying. But she put you in the tub. You know what I'm saying? That was just, I'm just fooling around. But what we find as young men in this generation is that the woman's support is like a manipulation tool to get us to do exactly what they want us to do. Like it's like that's how we feel. That's how it comes across, because it's like, okay, well, you got to provide. Or I don't want no broke man. You got to take care of these kids. You got to be able to take care of me. And then we be like,
but you supposed to take care of the kids.
I understand that. But see, in our society, we can remember. I know you remember, because back in your day, it was the defined role where she could tell you what you supposed to do, but you could tell her what she was supposed to do. Now it's not like that. Now she can tell you what you gonna do,
And I can't tell her.
and you can't. If you expect anything, you're wrong.
But see, I can't comprehend that.
And
Because that's not my
But
mindset.
that's what we live in, though. That's what we live in, though.
right. And the thing is, though, you have to understand, half of these, you got to look at the structure of the home the person came out of. If there was no balance, then all they saw was their single mother doing everything. And now I even hear a lot of young women say, oh, my mama told me never to depend on a man. Okay, that is, you need to go and dump that in the trash, because you're going to have to depend on the garbage man who come by and pick up your garbage. You depend on the AAA man who comes when your tire is flat
Yep.
to pump the air in it. So you're going to have to depend on a man.
Right.
So you need to take that and dump it in the garbage. But that's the mentality of a lot of young women because they are from a single family household.
And then that's another thing that's frustrating. And you made a perfect example of it. It's like the generation that we're live in, the women are taught that we're meant to be used, not cared for.
Wow.
That's real.
And that's what leaves us frustrated. So when we respond to that by using women back, then we're wrong. We're meant to be the one that take the blame, regardless of it. It always comes back to the man's fault. Oh, well, I didn't grow up with a father in my household. Well, let's ask this question. What did your mama do? Because it wasn't always us. I'm not saying that every woman is wrong.
Right.
I'm not trying to put that,
No.
but that's the question that's not being asked. Every man out here is not doing women wrong. It
That's
started
right.
somewhere, and every woman out here is not doing men wrong.
That's right.
So why does it always equate to he left? You can push somebody away no
That's
matter
so
how
true.
strong they are.
That's true.
Because they can love themselves to be like, I don't deserve this.
Right.
And then what you are in the home with is a parent, whether it's male or female, who's bitter, who feel like they're left,
Yes.
who represents your thought process, who
That's
teaches
right.
you how to
That's
think,
right.
and then they tell you that gender of person is no good, and they define how you think of that person
That's right.
off of their bitter experience or their failure that they don't want to recognize. And also, this is what I would like for you to address.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say answer, address, because I like to know how you think about it. As men, I've noticed this as well. Men who are in young women's lives, who are fathers to young women, in our generation, and I've watched this personally, I've watched men who were fathers to the women of our generation but at the same time, they may have came from a single parent household with the mother, tell their daughter what she deserves, but not what she's supposed to do. So I don't feel like it's just women telling young girls or girls or adolescents that you supposed to get all this just because of what you are by nature. We're doing it too.
Right. Okay.
I feel like we're doing it too, because you know that daddy's little girl, that princess syndrome.
Yes.
She grow up with that princess syndrome.
Right. Right. That's true.
So I mean, can you speak on that?
Yes.
I'm not going to tell you to answer it because it's
Right.
hard. I just will you speak on that, please?
Yes, and that's another place where the mother is supposed to tell the daughter, give her a reality check. Yes, your father is a good provider and all these things, but it's not always relationships are not like Burger King. It's not your way. You can't just have it your way all the time. Not if you are really going to be in a loving and lasting relationship. So to the fathers that are grooming their daughters, my husband, he groomed our daughter, very spoiled, could do whatever she wanted, he would do it for her. But I would be the one to tell her, you're not gonna meet somebody that's just going to come in and fill your father's shoes. And that's why I went back to saying earlier, the women are looking for a man that's like their father, and then there's some who are looking for a man that's not like their father. So if she has this princess mentality, yes, we are all princesses. But in a relationship, we have to remember, it takes time. What me and my husband have, we didn't just get it overnight. Like he tells you the things that I do for him, it didn't happen overnight. It was a process of me understanding and learning, yes, I can trust him. So because I can trust him, I'm going to show him how much I love and respect him. But as far as the young women who come with these mentalities, and I see it all the time, not just being groomed from a father, but their own grooming. I got this great job. I got my degree. Girl, please, what I need, I got just as much money as he do. So now you, as men, you even have to deal with that mentality. Yeah. So what can you do for me?
Because we want y'all. We do.
Right, yes. And believe it or not, they want you to.
Let me ask you this. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, have you encountered people who love, and you said this earlier, but really date the same type of people over and over again?
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
All right.
I do.
Now, let me ask you this. I had a really interesting conversation one time with some lady friends of mine. Do you think people internally date people who they think they deserve?
Yes.
Okay, can you just talk on that? Because I've seen it. Because now it's getting to the point where if I've noticed someone been complaining for years, and one day I was just like, show me all the dudes you dated in the last 10 years, and I'm like, wow, they look extremely familiar. They even look alike.
Yes.
And I said, they even doing the same stuff.
Yes.
And, and not throwing nothing out there, but I was like, they take the same type of pictures. Yeah. I was like, they pose the same, baby girl. Like
yes,
that.
yes.
I was like, so it looks like you love you love listening to this scratch CD.
Yes.
I tell her that, and I was just like, so why do we need to keep listening to you like this? So do you see people date who they think they deserve, and why?
Yes, I do. Work with women who date men that they feel like they deserve, because earlier I said the mask, this time it goes with the label. They've been labeled something so much in their life. I feel unworthy. I feel like this is all I can do. I can't do any better. And so therefore they keep attracting these men who are like them. Men that are broken, men that just, I want somebody, but I don't really want to be fully committed to this person. So I had one client, me and my husband was talking about her one day. All the guys she dated looked almost alike. They did. And so, yes, it is. And what I was trying to get her to see is you attract the type of person to you that you are. So if you feel that you're unworthy, it's a man out there that's operating on the same frequency as you are, and y'all connecting together. And so it's within us. Whatever you feel, if you feel like, okay, I can't. This is a young man. He told me, this girl, she out of my league. And I said, why would you say somebody is out of your league? Because she is. She got all her stuff together, and I'm still trying to get together. But that doesn't mean that somebody is out of your league. Say right now, I'm not ready for them. But soon, I will be.
Is this people in the same league that don't have the same playing time or the same pay?
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I could be a rookie in your league.
Right.
You know
exactly.
what I mean? So, I'm sorry, people didn't probably hear that. What I was saying was, I said, how some people say, I don't date outside my league. Some people are in the same league, they're just not on the same pay raise, but they are in the same league, playing the same sport. They can probably play it better than you. Yeah. You just so happen to be getting paid more.
True.
And and just because you're getting paid more in the league, that does not mean you're going to keep playing in that league, because life happens. You know what I mean? And some people justify their choices in people based off them playing in some type of league.
So true.
And if you dating based off the league that ain't loyal to nobody, you really ain't really looking for loyalty.
Right.
You're looking for the league.
Yes.
And the league don't last forever, does it?
No.
You can't play forever, right?
No.
That's right.
So, but and God forbid, I don't wish tragedy on no one, but a lot of people are in specific quote unquote leagues because of their abilities.
Right.
Right? And, some people go through tragedies and abilities get taken away just like that.
Right.
Now, you can't play in the league no more.
Right.
Now, all of a sudden, that person looks better. They're still in the league. They won't get paid as you, but guess what? They still have the ability to affect their own lives.
Right.
And
True.
now their eyes get open, man. So I just want to speak on that. I've seen that. Some people say, no, you're not on my level. And you be like, well, we still in the same building.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yes, and we're in a society where a lot of women don't want to build with the man. Okay. They want him to come ready-made. But
I call it the Ken doll effect.
Okay.
You're just supposed to show up with a Corvette sweater vest and no genitals.
Look. You're supposed to be established, look good, have all of those things, and be successful. And don't say
Yes,
nothing.
just be hush.
You just there, you look good, but you
And pay
that's
for
it. Just
everything.
stay over there, and Barbie running the show.
I bet nobody knows what Ken's voice sound like. Anybody call in to tell us?
He actually he spoke on Toy Story.
He did?
Yeah, he only had like
one line. Get in the back.
He had like a paragraph.
That's tough.
Yes, yes.
But you know what? Actually, the ironic part is the older the woman gets, most women throw all of that stuff out of the window.
Most women.
So when they're younger and their 20s, maybe early 30s, they still looking for that muscular physique gentleman. And then when you get in your 40s, everybody look good.
You better put on that spaghetti cake.
I'm gonna tell you like this here. All my life I've been in great shape. Round is a wonderful shape. It gets around, tires around, wheels on the bottom of a chair that you like to spin around as a child. Around. The wheels on the bus go
round and round.
Round and round. You know what I'm saying? Bellies, Winnie the Pooh belly is round. You know, balls around.
Okay.
I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying, basketballs around. You know what I'm saying? Around.
But people successfully made it nasty. Wherever they were.
Yeah. They're round. And I have to say like this, the reason why and I have to thank God, because it took a lot of stuff I've gone through in my life. I'm still healing from. And anybody who listens to me talk about certain aspects of relationships, because I'm a giving man and I'm a loving man, and nobody can say any different, because I know this for a fact.
Right.
When I'm in a relationship with you, I give you everything I can. So when I'm hurt, I feel it all. I'm sensitive.
Okay.
And I can admit that. But I have strength in my sensitivity. Oh, Lord have mercy. See, I'm telling that round voice.
Let's just not record that.
Okay, but yeah. So, but with that, now that the reason why I'm so passionate about it is, I have a little boy who's gonna have to try to find a mate in worse situations than I'm in. So that's where that drive comes from. I have someone now who, if I give her 50 and she go to the store, she coming back with 100 because her 50 coming in too. That was a bad metaphor set up, because if you go to the store, you shouldn't have no money back, because we need to get something to eat.
But I got you.
But what I'm saying is, whatever I give her, she doubles. And that's how I was taught anyway. If you give a woman, whatever you give her, she gonna make something with it. If you give her some bad stuff, she'll come back with some sewage water for you. If you give her some, and it's just like, you know what I'm saying. But I couldn't say what, you know what I'm saying. Sewage water. But I'm in a situation where I'm really, really happy. Happier than I've ever been. And sometimes I have to sit there and tell her, like, this is scary for me. I've never been treated this well without it being attached to me doing something. So it's like, I'm in that place where it's like, I can accept being happy. I can accept knowing my worth and knowing that I'm important, and know that I deserve to be loved the way that I understand, and that and be cherished and appreciated and admired. But where I'm frustrated is the woman that I'm entertaining and being with, right? That sounds so bad. The woman that I'm courting, in your term.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? She comes from a balanced home. Her mother and her father are together. Yes. And when you watch them, they interact like y'all do. Like, mom be sassy, dad say something, mom be like, whatever. But you know what I'm saying? But it's so functional and funny, and they love and respect each other, but they try each other up. Yes. So it's just like, she comes from a family where she's seen the benefits of, okay, if he's my partner and he loves me as much as he say he does, I don't have to manipulate him to get what I want. He wants to do it because he loves me.
That's right.
So she sees the benefit of making sure that I'm okay too. But I feel I'm frustrated because I've been through a lot to find a piece of that. And I don't even know if this is the end. Because God may be like, well, I'm working you up to something even better. I just had to break you down so when I gave you something, you wouldn't take advantage of it.
Okay.
Because without me going through what I've gone through, I don't think I'd be able to appreciate the type of woman that I have now for what she is. And he still may be elevating me. But I don't want my son to have to go through the same things that I've gone through. And I feel like it's going to be harder for him. So how do we, I don't know how I could build that bridge for him to find a woman of the caliber of, of someone that I feel like he deserves. I don't feel like his generation going to be even worse.
Well, they are. And I, as a woman, I would say you build that bridge by the person that you end up marrying and you treating her with respect. And because children are learning from our example, and that's what I said earlier. It's not so much of what we say, but they really taking in what we do. And so he's going to be watching you, and you are going to be his example.
I was going to say this from a whole nother point of view, or another perspective. So by trade, I have been an electrical engineer for over 20-something years. And what I find, even in corporate world, me being a black male, that I find myself having masks, having labels.
All right, come on.
And people not respecting me.
Yeah.
Because the color of my
This is racial culture.
And so I'm saying that to say this. We're talking about marriage, but relationships go beyond marriage.
Oh yeah.
And so we might be using marriage as an example, but this stuff goes on in all types of relationships. And so we need to be mindful of that also.
Yeah.
So when I go to work and had to deal with that stuff, the great part is when I come home, I had a loving wife that would take my mind off of it. But you'd be surprised of how society treats you in a relationship. So, and from my perspective, I really believe this. If we as men ever get it right, then society will get it right.
Wow.
That's real. That's real.
What you got to say about that, Dale?
I respect it. First off, this is my pastor who's in here. I need to start going to church a little bit more often. He done came and found me. He was like, all right, that's all right. Don't worry about it. I know where you work.
Once a month.
See, but it's real though. We have to be held accountable. That's the basis of what he's saying. And we as men have to hold ourselves accountable in order for it to be anything. So I'm not upset.
No.
Period. What he said is true. I have excuses right now, but once I get out of this situation, I won't have no excuses. And Pastor Shaw been like, all right, you taking 20 hours. Okay.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna always be that way. What you gonna say then?
He looking at that relationship.
Yeah, he's like, all right, bet. So, but I mean, I agree with you, but at the same time, I've seen so many men do stuff as right as they can, and then it still just goes south. But I feel like you're right because it's not a collective effort. We can't have, okay, well, over here in Valdosta, there's some good men in Valdosta.
What are you at?
Look at, 229 is divine with the men.
Okay.
And then you go down to Savannah, and then
912
to the 912, and he's sitting in the house, and you come back home, and he like, well, what we done made today? So you know what I'm saying? So I understand where you're coming from, and I understand that we as men, we're designed to be the most accountable. But one thing that I took to heart when I was listening to one of your sermons was help meet. You know, we were blessed to have women in order for us to help us meet our full potential.
There you go.
But how do we do that when the enemy, and I do feel like it's the work of the enemy,
It is.
designed a crooked program in order to take that help meet away from us? Because up until that point, I'm pretty sure Adam was like, hey baby, what you want to name that a deer? I don't even know why it's a deer. But it got the thing D. Okay, all right, so it got the ear. Okay, well we gonna do that because it got ears on it. Deer. All right. It looked like a dog to me, but it got the ears. So we just gonna for deer. We gonna.
Dog.
All right, baby. That's good, baby. That's good, baby. We gonna do that. We gonna do that. Why is it called a turtle? I don't know. Okay, baby. Well, that's what you want. I mean, I know it sounds funny, but it's just like sometimes when you really connected, and I'm pretty sure y'all can speak on this. When you really connected and you really for each other, sometimes you can tell him something, and it's crazy when you got a good woman that's backing you up, because she can say something to you, and it be the smallest thing, and it make you feel like you can conquer the world. Like I sometimes you can wake up in the morning, but you know what? I got 17 pages of papers to do, and then she'll say something like, "Well, you had 18 the other day, baby, but you did it in like 5 minutes," and you just be like, "Baby said I can do it. I could do it.
Yeah.
I could chew nails while I'm doing it too. I bet you, baby, come watch me. Come watch me do it." But I know, but am I lying though?
You telling the truth.
You be like, it make you feel that way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You said something. I don't know why. This. I'm gonna say this, and hopefully I don't send the audience on a tangent. But you brought up Adam and Eve, and since you went there,
let's run it up.
A lot of people don't realize that when Eve ate of that tree of knowledge, that Adam was right there. And what I say is,
He wasn't being himself.
he allowed the devil to come up and to rap to his wife while he was sitting there.
Oh, wow.
Now think about that for a minute.
Basically, the real fall was him punking. The real fall was him punking out.
There you go. Because the scriptures say, and he was with her.
Yeah, he was with her.
That's deep.
He wasn't paying her any attention. That's
Right.
what I said.
I thought
But
he
see,
was-
people, the women, they couldn't get. Some of them could, but people couldn't understand. When he's paying attention to me, it's gonna be hard for me to slip.
See, when I read that long
But
time
when he
ago,
take his eye off me,
right?
Go ahead.
When I was told that, and I was told that before I read it. You know what I mean? And I had this idea that Adam was just in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? Doing stuff, and she was all the way on the other side of the field.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But hold on, you telling me Adam
right there. He
Adam
was
was
right there.
Adam was just like, well, that's a nice snake.
Exactly.
I'm like, what does he want? Oh, the fruit that we not supposed. Well, how does it taste?
There you go.
Oh no, are we naked?
There you go.
I didn't play. I don't know. I'm
But it's like, really, that's going to be one of them conversations that we're going to have with God, because there's a such thing as a woman's tuition, and it's nothing to play with. There's also a such thing as a woman being able to persuade a man,
That's
but it's
true.
supposed to be meant for good.
Women and
So
wives.
we can't sit here, and I'm not trying,
blame Adam.
and just blame Adam
messed
because they both messed up. Because at the end of the day, God made sure that, hey, look, that tree, no. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure, as you know, because you know how y'all do. I'm just gonna say it. That's how y'all do. When y'all want to do something, y'all have a very specific way
They have all
of
the power.
shutting us down. Y'all will be like, and it'd be so sweet, but so disrespectful at the same time. It'd be like, hey, you know, God said you're not gonna mess with us, honey. I'm talking right now, okay? Don't do this in front of company. I ain't nobody trying, but you know, God said, all he's trying to do, baby, why you always got to act like that? All he's trying to do is tell me about the fruit. It's a new fruit. It got seeds in it and everything. I told you the pomegranate was nasty. You always hold me back from trying new things. That's why God gotta make me somebody else. Anyway,
Independent fruit taste.
anyway, what was you saying? What were you saying about it?
My mama ate fruit without my dad.
Have you ever thought? This is the one. Be like, well, because at that point, God was a friend to them.
Yes, he was.
What have you ever thought that maybe God was holding you back? See, some of your friends that you have around you aren't for you, and some women say that just because they don't want you hanging with certain people.
Right.
He's not for you, or that friend takes up a lot of his time. So boo time is being sacrificed. So y'all find anything.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that he picked up a quarter the other day, and there was a little child running towards it. It was his quarter though. He dropped it. Well, he could have left it there for the baby. And see, he's a greedy thing. You don't need to be hanging. Anyway, the point is,
Right, I get your point.
the point is, she could have been sitting there like, no, but Adam, that's the problem, Adam. When people are trying to explain things, you only want to see it your way, and you say, because you and God have this divine relationship, but I have a mind too, Adam, and I have a right to make choices too. And then this is what happened. She was like, okay, we're going to try this apple. I always want to be stubborn. We're going to try this apple. We're going to eat this. We're good. We're going to try something, baby. God said, but I'm your woman. That be the main one. But I'm
your wife, yeah.
But I'm your wife.
I come first.
I'm your girl. What about me? And then we be sitting there like,
They'll say that real quick.
What about me? Then you be sitting there like, God cool and all, man. But I really need, I gotta go home.
From
you know what I'm saying?
From it. I was just gonna say, just from going back to some of the stuff that Dale said, somehow the younger generation needs to get more data from the older generation,
Right.
so that their mindset can be changed.
Yeah.
All right, we got to reconnect hard.
Yeah.
We literally just ask them, okay, how did you do it and why did you do it? I think the why is one of those things that we don't ask, I think sometimes when they get to reminiscing, we're just like, oh, that was cool. Yeah. That's how y'all did it in that day. Until we say, all right, why did you all handle that? And then until you get context and like, well, baby, back then, how the economy was, how, black people were not given all the opportunities. And not only that, when you start finding out a lot of our ancestors and elders used to own land, and some of them were driven out of their land.
Right.
And, and some of those people had their businesses burnt down. They were self-sufficient. Now, somebody, you got to move to a whole nother city, and now you have to do industrial work. Right. But you had your own farm, but you ran off your land. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? And so, and not gonna lie to you, I don't think I think we can benefit from understanding pain and trials. I think trials is not something to always just get us down. Trials do have learning objectives in them.
Yes.
And I think our elders, and don't get me wrong, I hope somebody's going to misunderstand this, but that's not my intent. I think our people had a lot more love with each other when we understood who a common enemy was and where it was coming from.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying we had it better. I said we had a clear understanding of what we were going to do for each other.
Yes.
And, I don't want to just assume that we had it better, but I think things were better, and I think they were clearer because we say, you know what, we both catching it. And we know where we catching it from.
Right.
And I think we need to really sit down and talk with each other. So, because right now, us going at each other, we literally don't have the time, the energy, because, we got churches being bombed. We got people coming up missing.
Right.
We going out and we seeing people we just spoke to hanging from a tree.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing too much to argue about, but
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying? So I think, and I'm not saying that we need tragedy. However, we need something to let us know that some of the things that are set up for us to go at each other are a detriment to our nation that we're trying to build. I know we had Umar Johnson on our show maybe like a month ago. he was talking about how we use the term black community so often that we really don't understand that we don't really have one.
Right.
That's something that we're looking for or trying to build. Hopefully we can keep saying that term until we get on that same page. But one thing I do understand about us and, you know, our nation as a people, we deal with another level of distractions and destruction than a lot of people do. There's a lot of destruction that's geared towards people with dark skin on this planet that we can all see. So I think too, if we understand where the distraction is coming from at the same time, and I think it's going to take that self-accountability, because I think the group thing, and I think we have so many distractions, so many labels that some people don't even know what to call themselves.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And just the mindset of men and women, that's what we were trying to, you know, we really wanted to attack that, because we're going to need each other if we're going to, because we're going to get older. Everybody's getting older. Exactly. And if we keep going at each other, we're not going to have the youth that's going to help protect us when we're too old and too, you know, weak to really pick up anything to protect ourselves. We're going to need the youth. We're going to need that army. And what's happening now, we are so busy going at each other that we're neglecting our army.
That's true.
And our army is our babies. You know what I'm saying? The newborns, the new generation that's coming up, and you see why they're reacting to us now is because of neglect. We're so committed to getting at each other and competing that the children ain't even eating.
Main word. Competing.
We're competing. You know what I mean? So what I want to do, and I know we're coming to the close of the show, but one of the most important things we wanted to know about you is not only what some of the things that you say, but how can people patronize your services? How can people get in contact with you? Social media, how can they set up appointments, emails, all of these things, and what can they expect when they talk to Patricia Shaw?
All right. Well, thank you so much. As an award-nominated author, if you can see this book, Soul Ties Unchain My Heart.
Let me hold that book. I'm going to put it on the right up to the screen.
I wrote that book in 2015, and it is really now just making headway. And women have been reading this book, and they call me. My number is 912-208-0030. That's the office number. You can reach out and connect with me across social media, Facebook, Women of Excellence, Patricia Shaw. Everywhere else, I'm known as the Soul Ties Coach, because I go to the soul to get to the root of the issue.
Right.
And once you work with me, you are going to walk away healed.
Right. You don't do patchwork with this thing, do you? It's not cosmetic. You don't just build someone's ego up. You don't tell people it'll be all right. You don't say what's wrong, how long it's been wrong, or what are you willing to do about it.
Exactly.
But you give them the tools for success, though. You don't just point out the issue. What they may have an issue they just do not see.
Right.
However, you are compassionate. You are, you're intentional, and you're direct, and you're clear.
Yes.
So I think a lot of people may not understand that. They may have gone other places before. So what sets you apart, and we've had our conversation, that I've actually been coached by you. So as one of your clients and potential clients going forward, you're very precise in some of the things that you tell your clients.
Yes.
And the things that you point out, and some of the questions that you ask, you make us wonder. You make us search, and you make us convict in ourselves. What have I done? And more importantly, where have I not done?
Yes.
Why haven't I done it? And when I'm going to start doing it?
Yes. And if I can say, before we run out of time, I had one client in particular. She reached out to me and she said, I worked with someone else, and I always give them, what is your goal? When we get done, what do you want to say that I helped you with? That is your goal. That's what I'm focused on.
Right.
So she said, I need to know how to break free from this soul tie.
Right.
I've been in this relationship with this man going on 3 years. I don't know how to move forward. I said, okay, that's what we're going to work on.
Right.
So I gave her the strategies, the tips, and the tools. She free.
To that person right now that's listening to our show, probably the first time they've ever listened to the show, and the first time they listened to the show, they heard you, right? That young man, and we like I remember the time we talked. Who is your target audience, right? And so what we try to keep in mind is that young man who's probably a product of not only a single parent home. He may have two parents, but it's a broken home still. Still trying to figure out what's going on. And now he's trying to figure out how he needs to be talking to females and interact with females. Not only that, he needs to find out who he's going to be and the man he's trying to grow up to be. What can you say to that young man at this moment?
To the young man, I would say, before you include someone else in your life, fix you.
Okay.
Work on you. Become the independent man that you were created to be.
Okay.
So that you won't have to lean on a woman. Be able to stand on your own 2 feet. And that's really in every area, financially, physically, emotionally, specifically, because there are a lot of hurting men out here too.
Tell it.
And just like you said, even though sometimes people come from 2-parent homes, it's still brokenness. Yes. So ask God, who am I? Take off the labels. Don't allow society to tell you and dictate to you who you are. Be who God has told you you are. Live up to God's standards, not man's.
All right. And the young lady that, we try to help everyone, because sometimes when we talk to men, people get help. And because we really recognize that young black men are a neglected group when it comes to mental health and emotional stability. And we make no bones about it. However, we do make it clear that we care about our female counterparts.
Yes.
We care about our women. So to the young lady who may be listening to this show for the first time, can you give her something?
Yes, to the young lady, I would say sometimes I wrote a book and it says life is a journey. We all are on a journey. Just because your best friend found her identity doesn't mean, or her niche, or what she's gifted at. Just because you may not find your gift while you're here on this campus doesn't mean you don't have a gift. So timing, God has a perfect timing for everything.
Right.
I was 41 when I decided to walk into my calling.
That's real.
And God gave me, after I did everything he told me to do, I created this program called SOAR, Start Over Again Right. And I teach a lot of women from that program, SOAR. You can soar at any age. It doesn't mean that when I get my degree at the age of 23 that I've reached my peak.
No.
You're just now. Yes, you are just now beginning. So you can soar, start over again right at any age. When God is for you, he is really more than the world against you.
That's deep. So how can people get in contact with you, and where can people purchase your materials?
My books are on Amazon and Barnes & Noble under Patricia Shaw. I have 5 books out right now. The number 1 is Soul Ties Unchain My Heart. I have another book coming out next month. It's titled Positioned for Purpose When Boaz Calls. I'm sharing 28 years of wisdom in this book, and it's from my heart to the heart of young women. Let me see. Social media, Women of Excellence, Patricia Shaw, Instagram, and all those other sites. Soul Ties Coach, because I get to the soul of the matter.
That's what's up. That's what's up. One thing I do want to just send out to everyone who may be listening, that masculine energy and that masculine discipline, that masculine boundaries that we all need, male or female. Find out a way that you can begin the process of forgiving your father without forgetting what you're missing. It's not necessarily, and forgiveness does not come with amnesia, but forgiveness is a tool of spiritual warfare. And that's what a lot of people may not understand. So even if your father is or is not in your life, if he's physically on this planet or he's not physically on this planet, find out how you can begin that forgiveness process, whatever works for you. Because if it's not working to hold that grudge against your father, obviously something else needs to happen, right? And so obviously most of us are going out on this planet with that imbalance, and we're trying to balance ourselves out with all these other vices, and it's not working, and we're spiraling out of control. And since we're spiraling out of control, we're waving our hands all over the place. We're hitting each other instead of our anger. You know what I mean? So I will highly suggest people to go out there and at least have that conversation with your father or a father figure, or at least I know we did this at a workshop one time. A lot of people wrote a letter to their father, whether he was living or not, and mailed it to him. Period.
Right.
There's just having people writing it out, send it to them, and at least you're communicating how you felt, so you can move with less baggage. The baggage is still going to come with you because that pain is etched in your memory, but you can at least take just enough baggage so it won't leave you out of place, and so you can get where you need to go.
And if I may say, Christopher, the pain can be etched in your memory. It doesn't have to be embedded in your heart.
That's real.
So when you write the letter, yes.
That's different. Much different. Okay. Would you like to close? Any closing remarks before we close out the show? Any announcements?
Thank you for being here. Yes, I do have an announcement.
What's up?
On Saturday, May the 20th, I am hosting an empowerment brunch, and it's geared around relationships. And Christopher Pugh is one of my panelists. So if you are in the city, in the area, close enough, get here. Saturday, May 20th. It will be from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And the place is to be determined. The flyer and everything will go out next week.
May 20th. And they can follow you on your website and your social media to get more information. All right. Pastor Shaw, any closing remarks?
I just want to say to all the men out there that don't have a mentor, don't have a father figure, get one, because it's very vital to your success in life.
Right.
We want to show that we got all of this pride and we strong, but everybody needs somebody.
Right.
And we all need guidance. And that's my last take.
That's real. I do have an announcement. Well, first, we'd like to thank everyone out for supporting Statesboro Showcase. Last night was one of our last shows for a while now. We may have a huge show over the summer. Just shout out to the owner, Everett Robinson, down there at Main Street Billiards. A lot of people may not know he built a section inside of his pool hall specifically for artistic expression. And he built it with his hands, and he wanted students to come down and have a safe place and a place that actually wants them to come down and a warm environment, family environment. We had people down there from Augusta last night, Savannah last night. Some people come from Hinesville, Twin City. It's people coming from all over the place to showcase their yes. And so now, the artists that we are seeing, they are developing as people. They say they really needed it. And, sometimes when you go certain places, your artwork is not always welcome. And one thing about downtown, we welcome any type of artistic expression. We had comedy, singing. We have people do monologues. It's spoken word, and some people do poetry. And we have a live DJ and everything like that. And I host a show doing comedy. So we had a really good time last night. Thank y'all for supporting. Also, too, an announcement: the Statesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, they're having their Embody, I would say, let me make sure, it's not a presentation, it's a body workshop for young African-American males. It is this Saturday at William James Middle School from 10 to 2. So Google William James Middle School is located there. There are young African-American males and young males in general from ages 13 to 18. They're going to get some workshops that deal with redefining their role as African-American men in our society. So it's going to be very powerful. They're going to have several panelists that's going to be out there, very powerful, influential black males in the community and surrounding community. They're going to be there. So, and they got a young black male volunteer. So it's going to be pretty cool. I think there's a lot of kids coming from surrounding areas. So if you know a young man in this area that needs the help, or if he can help someone, if he got his stuff together, bring him so he can help out his peers. Right. This Saturday, William James Middle School from 10 to 2. All right. And other than that, if you find someone or if you see someone in April is just one of those hard months. A lot of things happen in April. And what we need to do right now is just pay attention. I know there's a lot of stuff been going on in the news lately, and a lot of discussions on mental health. People may know some things about it, people may not. At least try to respect the fact that everybody ain't all right.
That's right.
Let's just do that. Even if you don't know all the particulars about it, we may not know all the statuses, we may not know all the words and diagnosis, but we know when somebody is not 100% okay. We can see it in facial expressions, body language, all of it. Pay attention. At least build something with that person, even if you don't know the remedy. You know your intentions. You may not know the answer. Know your intentions when you see that person. Give them something positive. Don't lie to them. Just say, hey, I wish you had a better day.
Yeah.
You know, don't tell them it'll be all right. You have no idea what it is. And if you are hurting, go get help. Please don't play the guessing game and wait till somebody checks on you. It's not necessarily like that, because the people who have energy to check on you, they're going through it too.
Yeah.
So we ask people who are hurting, if you're hearing this, go get help, find help, at least put somebody there so people can help you. They may be dealing with something too and can't see you clearly. So just try it out. Big Dog, you got something to close us out?
No.
All right.
I'm good.
Good.
I'm great.
All righty. All right, ladies and gentlemen, man, thank y'all so much for tuning in to Manhood Mindset. We're on 91.9 WBGS, Statesboro, GA. Big Chris from Ellenwood, GA, and Dale from Riverdale. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Woo!
Yeah.
Wonderful. Absolutely fabulous.
Oh.